Hi, everyone. I just want to say a big thank you for joining us today to discuss BTS's UN speeches from 2018 and 2020. We're really excited to partner with Bangtan Library, who will be going over the background and key themes of each of the speeches. You guys can also chat with armies on our Fave app under the BTS UN speech chat room if you want to share your thoughts or connect with other armies while you are watching these speeches. We hope you guys enjoy the discussion. I will now hand it over to Bangtan Library, who will provide a brief background about the BTS UN speech from 2018 before we stream.
Hi everyone, this is Tilda from Bangtan Library, and I'm here to give you some background on the 2018 UN speech to begin with. In November 2017, BTS and Big Hit officially partnered with UNICEF to support the UNICEF End Violence campaign. Here's what Big Hit said about it. BTS has always been conscious of caring for the world. Ever since their debut in 2013, they have been focused on providing messages of comfort for young people. They never hesitate to express social messages in songs as well as music videos. The member artists of BTS strive in their own ways to make the world a better place to live. And here is what the members said themselves. In our Love Myself campaign, we talk about the meaning of true love. We encourage every young person to find the love from within themselves and spread that love to others. We think the mutual support from youth to each other is the first step to showing love. 1 year later, in November 2018, BTS visited the United Nations headquarters in New York. They were there to help launch Generation Unlimited, which is an initiative to get every young person in the world into quality education, training, or employment by 2030. During that visit, they received the honor of delivering a speech in front of the UN General Assembly. Namjoon delivered the speech and talked about himself, but it contained messages from the group as a whole.
Great, thank you. So now we will stream the BTS UN speech from 2018.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary General, UNICEF Executive Director, and all the excellencies and distinguished guests from across the world. My name is Kim Namjoon, also known as RM, the leader of the group BTS. It is an incredible honor to be invited to an occasion with such significance for today's young generation. Last November, BTS launched the Love Myself campaign with UNICEF, building on our belief that true love first begins with loving myself. We've been partnering with UNICEF's End Violence program to protect children and young people all over the world from violence. And our fans have become a major part of this campaign with their action and with their enthusiasm. We truly have the best fans in the world. And I'd like to begin by talking about myself. I was born in Ilsan, a city near Seoul, South Korea. It is a really beautiful place with a lake, hills, and even an annual flower festival. I spent a very happy childhood there, and I was just an ordinary boy. I used to look up at the night sky and wonder, and I used to dream the dreams of a boy. I used to imagine that I was a superhero who could save the world. And in an intro to one of our early albums, there's a line that says, "My heart stopped when I was maybe 9 or 10. Looking back, I think that's when I began to worry about what other people thought of me and starting seeing myself through their eyes. I stopped looking up at the night skies, the stars. I stopped daydreaming. Instead, I just tried to jam myself into the malls that other people made. Soon, I began to shut out my own voice and started to listen to the voices of others. No one called out my name, and neither did I. My heart stopped and my eyes closed shut. So, like this, we all lost our names. We became like ghosts. But I had one sanctuary, and that was music. There was a small voice inside of me that said, "Wake up, man, and listen to yourself." But it took me quite a long time to hear music calling my real name. Even after making the decision to join BTS, there were a lot of hurdles. Some people might not believe, but most people thought we were hopeless. And sometimes I just wanted to quit. But I think I was very lucky that I didn't give it all up. And I'm sure that I and we will keep stumbling and falling like this. BTS has become artists performing in those huge stadiums and selling millions of albums right now, but I am still an ordinary 24-year-old guy. If there's anything that I've achieved, it was only possible that I have my other BTS members right by my side, and because of the love and the support that our ARMY fans all over the world made for us. And maybe I made a mistake yesterday, but yesterday's me is still me. Today, I am who I am with all of my faults and my mistakes. Tomorrow, I might be a tiny bit wiser, and that'd be me too. These faults and mistakes are what I am, making up the brightest stars in the constellation of my life. I have come to love myself for who I am, for who I was, and for who I hope to become. I like to say the one last thing. After releasing our Love Yourself albums and launching the Love Myself campaign, we started to hear remarkable stories from our fans all over the world, how our message helped them overcome their hardships in life and start loving themselves. Those stories constantly remind us of our responsibility. So let's take all one more step. We have learned to love ourselves. So now I urge you to speak yourself. I like to ask all of you, what is your name? What excites you and makes your heart beat? Tell me your story. I want to hear your voice. I want to hear your conviction. No matter who you are, where you're from, your skin color, your gender identity, just speak yourself. Find your name and find your voice by speaking yourself. I'm Kim Namjoon, and also RM of BTS. I'm an idol, and I'm an artist from a small town in Korea. Like most people, I've made many and plenty mistakes in my life. I have many faults, and I have many more fears, but I'm gonna embrace myself as hard as I can. And I'm starting to love myself gradually, just little by little. What is your name? Speak yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. With
Great. Okay. Now we will share, Bangtan Library will now talk about the background for the 2020 UN speech.
Right. So, 2 years later, in September 2020, BTS delivered a video message at the 75th session of the UN General Assembly. there was a large event called Protraction of the COVID-19 Crisis, Mitigating the Impact and Protecting Future Generations. And since future generations begins with today's youth, it made sense to have BTS speak as they work together with UNICEF. This time, all 7 BTS members spoke, with Namjoon beginning and ending their speech. Each member gave us their personal thoughts, but they spoke in an order that created a whole instead of 7 disconnected speeches.
Hi, I'm Henrietta Fore, Executive Director of UNICEF. I know this year has been hard on young people. Your lives have been turned upside down. What seemed normal and familiar is now strange and new. And what you're feeling is probably hard to explain. Things might not feel right now, but we can use this time to think about how we can reimagine and build a better world. You are not alone. I hear you, and I know our friends BTS hear you.
Thank you, representatives of the member states of Group of Friends of Solidarity for Global Health Security, UNICEF Executive Director, Excellencies, and distinguished guests from all around the world. It is a great honor for us to have this valuable opportunity to speak in a session in the 75th UN General Assembly. My name is RM, the leader of the group BTS. And 2 years ago here, I asked your name. I urged you to let me hear your voice. And I let myself be filled with imagination. As a boy from the small city of Ilsan in Korea, as a young man standing at the UNGA, as a global citizen of this world, I imagine the limitless possibilities before all of us, and my heart beat with excitement. But COVID-19 was beyond my imagination. Our world tour was totally canceled. All of our plans went away, and I became alone. I looked up but couldn't see the stars at night.
절망했습니다. 모든 게 무너진 것만 같았습니다. 할 수 있는 건 창밖을 내다보는 것뿐이었고 갈 수 있는 곳은 제 방 안뿐이었습니다. 어제는 전 세계 팬분들과 함께 춤추고 노래했었는데 오늘은 내 세계가 방 하나로 줄어든 것만 같았습니다. 그때 저의 동료들이 손을 잡아주었습니다. 함께 토닥이며 무엇을 같이 할 수 있을까 이야기를 나눴습니다.
오랜만에 어쩌면 데뷔 후 처음으로 일상이 찾아왔습니다. 원했던 건 아니었지만 소중한 시간이었습니다. 넓었던 세계가 순식간에 좁아지는 건 제게 굉장히 익숙한 경험입니다. 월드 투어를 하면서 화려한 조명과 팬분들 환호 속에 서 있다가 그날 밤 방으로 돌아오면 제 세계는 겨우 몇 평짜리 좁은 공간으로 변하기 때문이죠. 좁은 방 아니었지만 나와 우리의 세계는 넓게 펼쳐져 있었습니다. 악기와 스마트폰, 그리고 팬들이 그 세상 안에 존재했기 때문이죠.
그런데 이번엔 예전과 달리 더 외롭고 좁게 느껴졌습니다. 왜일까? 한참을 생각했습니다. 아마도 상상하는 것이 힘들어졌기 때문이 아닐까 생각했습니다. 지금의 상황이 많이 답답하고 우울해졌지만 메모를 하고 노래를 만들며 나에 대해 돌아보기도 했습니다. 여기서 포기하면 내 인생의 주인공이 아니지. 멋진 사람은 이렇게 하겠지? 라고 생각하면서요.
누가 먼저였는지는 모르겠습니다. 많은 감정을 끌어안고 우리 7 멤버들은 함께 음악을 만들기 시작했습니다. 그렇게 시작한 음악이기에 모든 것에 솔직할 수 있었고요. 우리의 삶은 예측할 수 없는 만큼 정해진 답도 없습니다. 저 또한 방향만 있고 뚜렷한 방식은 없는 상태에서 나와 우리를 믿으며 최선을 다하고 순간을 즐기며 이 자리까지 왔으니까요.
우리의 음악과 함께 사랑하는 멤버들과 가족, 친구들, 그동안 잊고 지냈던 나를 찾았습니다. 미래에 대한 걱정, 끊임없는 노력 다 중요하지만 가장 중요한 건 자기 자신을 아껴주고 격려해주고 가장 즐겁게 해주는 일입니다. 모든 게 불확실한 세상일수록 항상 나, 너, 그리고 우리의 소중함을 잃지 말아야 합니다. 저희가 지난 3년간 이야기해온 Love Myself 메시지처럼, 그리고 I'm Diamond, You know I glow up 이란 저희의 노래 다이너마이트의 가사처럼 말이죠.
모두 함께 작업하던 어느 밤, RM 형은 별이 보이지 않는다고 했는데 그때 제게 유리창에 비친 제 얼굴이 보였습니다. 우리 모두의 얼굴도 보였습니다. 그렇게 서로에게 들려주고 싶은 이야기를 노래로 만들었습니다. 불확실한 오늘을 살고 있지만 사실 변한 건 없습니다. 내가 할 수 있는 것이 있다면, 우리의 목소리로 많은 사람들에게 힘을 줄 수 있다면 우린 그러길 원하고 계속 움직일 것입니다.
When I start feeling lost, I remember my face in the window, like Jungkook said. I remember the words I spoke here 2 years ago. Love yourself, speak yourself. Now, more than ever, we must try to remember who we are and face who we are. We must try to love ourselves and imagine the future. BTS will be there with you. Our tomorrow may be dark, painful, difficult, and we might stumble or fall down. But the stars shine brightest when the night is darkest. And if the stars are hidden, we'll let moonlight guide us. If even the moon is dark, let our faces be the light that helps us find our way. Let's reimagine our world. We're huddled together, tired, but let's dream again. Let's dream about a future when our words can break out of our small rooms again. It might feel like it's always night and we'll always be alone, but the night is always darkest before the first light of dawn.
Life goes on.
Life goes on.
Life goes on.
Life goes
Life goes on.
Life goes on.
Life goes on.
Let's
Live on.
Right. Those were the 2 speeches that they have given so far. And now from Bangtan Library, I would like to deliver some insights based on these speeches to get you thinking about yourself and how BTS have impacted you with these speeches. And if you think of anything while I'm delivering these insights, just put it in the chat so you don't have to hold it in your mind until the end of it. Just put it out there in the chat on YouTube or on Facebook. Starting with the first speech from 2018, there are 4 main themes, starting with the power of the collective. Superstars usually try to seem perfect, like gods or superheroes, but BTS are a new form of superstar, relatable by showing us all their human sides, and role models by sharing how they, as ordinary human beings, try their best to be good to themselves and others. In this speech, BTS emphasized the power of doing things together. The 7 members as a team, BTS together with ARMY, ARMY together with UNICEF. This is the superpower of BTS, having their good deeds and words amplified by ARMY, and having so many of us working in the same direction that the results are beyond what they could ever do on their own. The second theme is youth. BTS, their art and their messages are for people of all ages, but it makes sense for them to work with UNICEF and focus on the youngest for 3 reasons. First, they make music about their own lives and started as teenagers, speaking to other teenagers. And by protecting and investing in the youngest can grow into stable and loving adults. And lastly, minors are the most vulnerable people since they lack power to control their own lives, and BTS have always cared about protecting those who need it the most. The third theme is loving yourself, as in the Love Yourself, Love Myself campaign. When we don't love and accept ourselves, we are more likely to project what we dislike about ourselves onto others. We see the worst in them instead of seeing them as humans who deserve our respect, help, and love. BTS are telling us that it's human to have flaws and make mistakes. We don't have to be perfect to be worthy of love and respect. We have to be the first to forgive and embrace ourselves, and then strive to do a little bit better next time. And that ties into the fourth theme, as Namjoon said, speaking yourself. Speaking yourself is not about voicing your opinions. It's about making your inner self more real by showing that self to someone outside your head. It's about daring to embrace out loud what you fear others might not accept about you, to help you feel strong in accepting yourself. You might even help others like you accept themselves more. Now we move on to the second speech, which is closely tied to the first speech. Again, BTS show that even though they live a life as artists that is in many ways different from how most of us live, they are ordinary humans facing the pandemic together with us. They are relatable, and that's why we can draw strength from them and they from us. And again, they emphasize the power of the collective, of getting through this together. 2 main things to take away from this speech. Number 1, we need small things that keep us going every day, both things that make us feel happy for a moment and things we can work on that feel meaningful, like music is to BTS. And number 2, we are social beings, and when everything else seems to crash down, we see how important human connections are to us. We can't always meet in the same ways we used to, but we have to invent and use other ways to stay connected.
Thank you, Bangtan Library, for going over all the insights and key themes for each of the speeches. If anyone has any questions regarding or any comments regarding either of the speeches or any of the things we have discussed today, please post in the chat on Fave or in the YouTube comments. We are more than happy to look over and answer any questions you guys may have. If not, we just want to thank everyone for joining, and especially a big thank you to Bangtan Library for leading this discussion and providing the insight for these speeches. We really, really appreciate it. Be sure to follow them on Twitter so you can learn more about BTS, and also follow Fave at Fave for Fans on Twitter and Instagram so you can stay up to date on other events and activities we are hosting. Our chat room for BTS UN Speech will still be active when BTS presents their next speech at the UN this upcoming Monday. We're really excited for it, and we hope you guys can chat with us on the platform. Thank you again, and we hope you guys have a rest of the day, and we hope you really enjoyed this discussion.